My brothers and sisters, fellow pro-lifers in Colorado, today on the day of your Colorado March for Life, whether you're participating in the march or not, I want to send you a word of greeting and encouragement as I do each year. I would be there with you, except I'm getting ready to head to DC to read at the national event, America Reads the Bible, together with hundreds of other leaders, and then to address a national gathering of pastors at the U.S. Capitol. So nevertheless, I am with you in spirit, and I wanted to share a prayer, a scripture, and some words of encouragement to all of you fighting in such a dark place. You know better than I, pro-abortion stronghold. And, you know, the darkness of pro-abortion strongholds like Colorado and various other states that allow abortion unlimited is really not black. It's blue. It's a blue darkness, and you know what I mean as far as which has been getting worse and worse, the pro-abortion fanaticism of the Democrat Party. We've got to keep calling it out on the state level and on the federal level, and I know that so many of you are doing that so well. In light of this overall theme of being a light, a pro-life light in that pro-abortion darkness, I want to read a passage with you from the Sermon on the Mount. And in Matthew chapter 5, starting in verse 13, we read these familiar words. You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. All of us at Priests for Life send you our greetings today. And you know, when you are doing what you do today, marching out onto the public streets, you're fulfilling this passage from the Sermon on the Mount. You are being salt. You are being light. You're letting your good works shine forth, because the marching represents what you're doing throughout the year. It represents the good works of counseling those who may be tempted to abort their child. It reflects the good works of giving healing to those that have had abortions. And as you know, I, as pastoral director of Rachel's Vineyard and Silent No More, am privileged to carry out that kind of ministry around the world, including in Colorado. When you are educating people about the reality of what abortion is, you are carrying out good works that your Father sees and rewards. When you are working against amendments like Amendment 79, which distorted your state constitution there when it was passed recently, you are doing good works, and we were hand in hand with you fighting against that, together with the battles that ensued in various other states as well. Your good works are shining before the Father. These and all the other pro-life works that you do with legislation, with politics, with preaching and teaching, all of it together, we are putting on display today, not out of a sense of arrogance, but out of a sense of legitimate pride that the Lord himself is calling us to have. Let it shine forth. Let it shine forth in the darkness. I want to talk a little bit about how we're pushing back against that darkness. You know, in Colorado, not only are you dealing with unlimited abortion, you're dealing also with the decisions like, going back a while in pro-life history, the Hill versus Colorado floating bubble zone decision of the U.S. Supreme Court that, of course, has had effect across the nation, although many are convinced that it's time for that to be overturned, and that's a good goal of our movement. It's already protected activity to peacefully speak to someone, hand out literature, provide information, and yet this Hill versus Colorado establishes this 8-foot floating zone around any person that does not want to hear the message of saving the life of their own child as they enter into those killing centers. Well, brothers and sisters, your march today actually is pushing back against that kind of darkness. We have the right to communicate with our fellow citizens. We have the right to come out onto the public sidewalks, and we have the right to go in front of those abortion facilities. And we don't do it only as a matter of freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to protest. It is that. It is protected under that rubric. But there's a more fundamental imperative when what we are doing is actually intervening to save a life. We all know that everything else gives precedence to that because, for example, if there's a no trespassing sign, you can't walk onto property where there's a no trespassing sign just to share your views on, let's say, what the best restaurant in town might be. But when and if some child were drowning in a swimming pool, you certainly could and would violate that no trespassing sign. So whether or not we're talking about violating trespass signs, the urgency, the imperative, the fundamental nature of speaking up to save life and intervening to save life obviously takes precedence over all other considerations. This is the kind of spirit needed in Colorado, needed across the nation. And this is the kind of spirit that is being vindicated in what we saw just the other day. And if you didn't see this yet, check out our website at Priests for Life. Our main website is endabortion.us. And we have the report there that came out from the Department of Justice just the other day. Now, this is President Trump's Department of Justice. So we're talking about a Department of Justice that is truly on the side of justice, on the side of believers, on the side of pro-lifers. They issued a report about how pro-life people and Christians have been targeted, unjustly prosecuted, how they have been victims of the weaponization of government against our rights to profess our faith and to profess our pro-life commitment, and not just to profess it, but as we were just saying, to actually intervene to save lives. You know how big the report was? It wasn't 8 pages. It wasn't 80 pages. It was 882 pages of documentation. Various pro-life groups are in there. We at Priests for Life are mentioned in there for peaceful activity. Prayer vigils at abortion facilities, and other individuals who have been unjustly not only convicted but imprisoned simply for praying, for being there at the killing centers. This report documents that, but doesn't only document that, sets the record straight for how wrong that unjust prosecution is. So any kind of weaponization, Amendment 79, when that was on the ballot in Colorado and that got passed, unfortunately, and your tax dollars being used to abortion was oppressively solidified there in Colorado, that itself is a weaponization. That in itself. And any other kind of oppression that you have from the Democrat leadership in regard to either advancing the pro-abortion agenda or limiting your rights to push against it. This is the kind of thing that now, under the current administration, we are seeing things get set straight. This report is just the beginning. It is the beginning of a massive awakening of conscience, a large-scale educational opportunity. Go to the report, take parts of it, start talking about it among your fellow citizens and pro-life people and groups throughout the state, because this is an educational moment. When we say we're being persecuted as pro-life people, we're not imagining things. And this 882 report from the Department of Justice makes it very clear that we're not imagining things, and that something has to be done about it. Not only is it an educational moment, it's a moment when those who have violated the law, when government agents have violated the Constitution against us, this is also the basis then for some serious prosecution of them. The difference would being that would be just rather than unjust. You are a light in the darkness today. You are showing forth the good works that you do in the name of the Father today. Whether you are actually there at the march or not, I want to encourage all of you in the pro-life movement in Colorado. Your words, your works continue to have an effect, and we need to double down now. This is a golden moment for the pro-life movement in America because of the things we see happening through not only those of us that are working and marching and persevering, but through the people we have elected. We are seeing the strongholds of the left being more and more weakened and undermined. You saw, for example, the United States getting out of various international organizations and treaties and stopping the funding of international agencies that promote abortion. We see the attacks and the bias against Christians, both in secular media and also on secular campuses across the country, being weakened thanks to various lawsuits, thanks to various government actions that are saying if you keep discriminating against Christians and pro-life people, you're going to lose your federal funding. Various settlements that have been made, various changes in leadership that have happened are actually moving things more and more in our direction. Take a look at what has happened to media outlets like CBS or universities like the University of Pennsylvania. Many things are moving in the right direction. You need to be encouraged. We all need to be encouraged at that moment, because being encouraged right now is exactly the right attitude to have as we see what is happening. We at Priests for Life pledge to continue joining with you. I'll be out there actually in Colorado at the beginning of June for some pro-life activities at the Night Vision Music Festival. Some of you go to that, I'm sure. But God bless you. Keep in touch with us and with our team at prolifecentral.org. Have a glorious march and be renewed in your pro-life commitment. You are the light of the world. God bless you, Colorado. We will talk to you soon. Pro-life leader Frank Pavone here of Priests for Life.